Speaker Johnson, a short time ago in that news conference, called what's going on at these schools, quote, absolute lawlessness and chaos, and said that it's clear the president of Columbia University has lost control and called on her to step down. Do you agree with him?
I agree with him. She's had plenty of opportunity subsequent to the hearing before our Education and Workforce Committee, where she clearly didn't have all of the facts. She wasn't able to answer certain questions, and she answered untruthfully on several, especially on the one when I asked about the Professor Massoud, whether he was still employed and what they had done relative to his egregious statements about what went on October 7th. And then since then, she's indicated that the students would have to abide by certain requirements. They've blown past all of those. And so it's like someone has said it's Hamas on spring break, and that's what it seems to be.
Yeah, we're looking at video right now of the students at Columbia. This was early this morning, breaking windows, breaking into a building, taking it over. What needs to happen? Because it's not just Columbia University, it's all across the country at universities.
It's all across the country. The students have to realize that they are students, that they are on campus for a purpose, and that's to be educated. They can have their First Amendment liberties. I would stand in defense of all of that. But when you start violating rules and you go against all common decency, and when you make other students, specifically Jewish students, feel not simply intimidated, but at risk of their lives and their academic careers. And also, as I said in the hearing, when you have students like me, if I were there and I would want to take a stand in defense of a Jewish a peer of mine, and yet know that that professor controls my academic destiny and would stand against me supporting my Jewish friend, that's not how it should be.
Yeah.
And now they're violating the law when they are taking down American flags and putting up Palestinian flags on the campus, when they are breaking into buildings and causing disarray and mayhem. It's gone way too far.
Yeah, we saw a really tense moments this afternoon at UNC, University of North Carolina, with between protesters who had taken down the American flag. The police went back in to try and rehang it. The protesters were throwing garbage and dumping water on top of these officers, just trying to do their job. I got to tell you, I remember last night, my son, who goes to a small college in Boston, called me because he was so upset after watching students on Harvard's campus take down the American flag and instead put up the Palestinian flag. What are we seeing here?
Well, we're seeing mayhem. We're seeing temper tantrums from young people that may be educated, but they've not been educated in real life. And understanding what you do with your education is you don't destroy, you build. This isn't building at all. And the fact that we have an absolute certainty that there are people coming in from the outside to whip these students up into actions that I think some of the students may not even know for sure why they're protesting, why they're doing certain things, and why they're living in tents that all look like they've been prepared for them. There are instigators from the outside doing it, and instigators from the inside, including professors that have been indoctrinating students with dogmas that go against America as well. And when you hear hate statements about Jews and hate statements about America, you understand that Iran is winning the day here on the college campuses of the United States, and they don't have to fight it in their own homeland. They're fighting in America.
Yeah.
And we know that they call us the big Satan and they want to destroy us.
Well, I think as we've interviewed some of these students, we have learned pretty quickly that a lot of them don't really know very much aside from cartoonish broad strokes of what's going on in the Middle East. But what proof do you have that there are actual outside organizers and agitators who are driving these protests?
Well, in talking with and having information coming from law enforcement sources, these are not students, and we also have heard from various college officials that there are people that don't have the IDs, student IDs, that they ought to have to be on campus. And so then my question comes, as I've talked to presidents of colleges, some that have been in front of committees and others that haven't yet, and I've asked, why are you letting this happen when you say you have a rule that it can only be students, and yet you know that there are people who aren't students who are on campus now and they are instigating? That has to stop.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.